Hi again, my name is Carol. Thank you for joining me here on the Way Shower. I thought it was appropriate to do today's video down here at the river. This is the Oak Creek River that flows through Sedona and then into Cornville, which is where I am now. I thought it was appropriate to do this video at the river because it is about a new wave of children that are coming into our world now. And they are carrying the Christ consciousness. Now, this is something that I just understood this morning. It's been coming to me little by little over the last couple of weeks, but this morning was when I completely understood what it was that I was getting. So, there have already been a few of these individuals born into our world, those who are carrying the Christ consciousness. They are considered by those in the higher echelons and higher vibrations. Those who are already here are considered to be the scouts, so to speak, for those who are now coming in. So the ones who are coming in mass are getting ready. Their mothers are carrying them right now, and I think it's going to go on for like maybe a year, 2 years. It's not going to be this huge wave like it was with the Indigos and the rainbows and the crystals, etc., where the time span for their birthing was over a decade. So these children who are carrying the Christ consciousness are all going to come in within a year or 2 year time span, from what I understand. It's a limited window. So, goodness, where do I start with this? So, the Starseeds, let me start with the Starseeds. So they came in and they brought with them memories of and knowledge of life in other planets and other planes of existence. And the Indigos were like the ball busters. They're the ones that fought against the system, that said, yeah, something's not right here and this has got to change. The rainbows were more like the hippies, and they see the love and the beauty and everything, and they're trying to convey that. And they're very creative children, young adults now. And then there are the crystals, and the crystals have this very clear consciousness that about how things should be done. And they're not the renegades like the Indigos were, and they're not the loopy ones like a lot of Starseeds are, because the Starseeds, and love you all, consider myself to be one of them, kinda. Anyhow, when you come as a Starseed, when you come into this incarnation here on Earth, and you bring with you those memories from life on other planets and other solar systems, then what happens is, and you're touching other dimensions, what happens is you kind of get loopy, and therefore the schizophrenia and the bipolarism, etc. The Indigos, and not that these can't overcross, because they can cross lines. The boundaries are not clear-cut boundaries between the Indigos, the Starseeds, the rainbows, the crystals, etc. Some exhibit more clear-cut signs than others. So anyhow, what I'm trying to say here is that they all carry a particular vibration with them, and they are all here to do certain things, and life here on Earth affects each one of them differently. So for a starseed, life is very confusing here because it can feel foreign, like you don't belong here. I remember when I was a young girl, I used to literally cry for my family to come and get me, because I felt like, I mean, this was in the early 60s, you know, and I'm a young child, so ETs and past lives and all that stuff wasn't something that was talked about on a regular basis. So for me as a young girl to cry because I felt like my family was from up there somewhere and that they left me here, and I wanted them to come and get me, that was very unusual, and I didn't start to make sense of it until much later in life. Anyhow, so the point is that it's different. The feeling of being here on this earth is different for all of us. You know, wherever you come from, whatever you consider yourself to be, a starseed, an indigo, rainbow, crystal, whatever, it's different for all of us, even if you just consider yourself to be a plain old human being. I don't mean plain old. But anyway, so as I sat there and contemplated it this morning, trying to figure out what it was that I was being given to understand, and I was trying to piece the puzzle together. What I saw in the beginning, in trying to figure this out, was a bunch of people wearing white robes, and I couldn't figure out, okay, so they're all wearing white robes, and what are they here to do? And then I remembered that as I was waking up this morning, I had received a message where I was supposed to consider the difference between Melchizedek and the Melchizedeks, plural. So these children are carrying the Christ consciousness, which they're coming in mass, so in order to help us all through the transition in consciousness that is getting ready to expand tremendously. And they're here to make sure that things don't get out of hand, and that humans don't lose their way. So these children are coming here. When they are born, they are going to be fully self-realized. They are going to know who they are. When they're born, they're going to know who they are and where they came from and what they're here to do. They're going to be very sensitive. They're going to be extremely highly empathic. These children have chosen their parents carefully so that they do not lose their way, so that they're not led astray, and so that their humanness, their ego side of them, does not take over. So what's going to be important for them is the lesson of humility. So they have chosen their parents, or parent plus support system. They have chose their parents and their support system very carefully so that they will learn humility, because this is a very important subject for them. Because without the lesson of humility, their knowledge, their wisdom, and their ability to do things is going to be too much for their egos to resist. So these children are going to come here with these abilities. And these abilities are not going to manifest, more than likely they're not going to manifest until after their 12th or 13th birthday, maybe even a little bit later. Some probably maybe a little sooner, but most of them are going to be right around the 12th and 13th birthday. So what I understand is that they're all going to come in with full self-realization, full awareness of who they are, where they've been, what they're here to do, etc. It will slowly dissipate as they take on their human vibrations even more, and then some will start to be able to tell you who they are and what they're doing here at the age of 3, or right about there when they are able to really start talking. Most of them, I think, are going to start coming, that full realization is going to start coming back in again after it's gone out. It's going to come back in again right around the age of 7. All of them will come back to full remembrance by the age of 12. So my reason for doing this video is because I'm really excited. I'm like totally overjoyed, moved to tears this morning that these beautiful souls are going to be coming in to our earth and helping everybody out with what's going on. All I know for sure, and I don't doubt this information, I feel really good and very happy about it. These children are coming in. Many of their mothers are now carrying them in their tummies. So I will do a little bit more on this topic as I get more clarity on it. Just wanted you all to have a heads up there. We have a new wave of very special souls coming in, and they're going to do a lot for us. So reinforcements are coming. Love you all very much.